Okay, members and friends, this cat needs help. Tom, Tom, what happened to you? I need help with this nonprofit, people. Okay, I can put collection boxes out, but I have no one to manage them for nonprofit. Like, this cat is sick. Tom, oh baby, oh baby, oh, you need to go to the vet. This cat is just not well. I think he's gotten into too many fights. I think whoever lived in this house left him behind. And he's so hard to catch. He's being quiet right now because I think he's really sick. Oh my God. Tom, I think I gotta take him to the vet and get him put to sleep or something. I don't have the money to fix him up. I'm going to Victoria tomorrow. Tom, he's gotten into too many fights, people. I need help with this nonprofit. He's got something going on underneath his mouth. You're just not doing well at all. He said, I'm not feeling well. I'm just a beat up old Tom. Nobody loves me. Oh, come on, people. I need help with this nonprofit. Okay? Oh, baby. If I catch him now, maybe I can run him off to the vet and just leave him with the vet. And the vet will just bill me. Oh, baby. What am I going to do with you? Oh. He's got some serious mites on him. He's actually letting me touch him right now. You're actually letting me touch you right now, aren't you? Oh, oh baby. What am I going to do with you? Oh. Does that feel good? You need a brush. I'm just a wild cat. Too many scraps. There's Princess. Who's that Princess? That's Tom. Yeah. Come on, people. I need help. Help me to help Tom. Okay, members and friends. I've had one crazy day. Like, it's been non-stop since when I was going to start dishes. And I was going to cook today, and I was going to hop on the ferry tomorrow, and I was going to go to a seminar, and I was all excited and pumped up with the jam just to, do something positive, right? That was my idea, because I got invited to one of these Freemen seminars. And I was going to take one of my daughters with me. And I'm doing it for my grandson because I listened to a few videos, and it sounds like in terms of court and the justice system and the structure and all that, the individual that was doing the videos seemed to understand what he was talking about. So that's what provoked my interest. But it just wasn't in the cards. Like, it just wasn't meant to be, because first thing is, I took my daughter yesterday, my oldest daughter, all day. I took her to methadone doctor, and I took her to, it was something else I did with her, right? And then I brought her home, and today I had to take her back to a clinic because she fell asleep in the bathtub last week, and she went like that, and I guess she got water up her nose, and it's a good thing she didn't get it in her lungs. I was kind of concerned that maybe she, get it in her lungs, because if you get water in your, any excessive amount of water in your lungs, you can actually drown when you're sleeping. So a week later, she didn't drown, thank God. I've been watching for that, but it turns out she developed a nasal infection, right? So I had to take her to the doctor because it just got, within a day. That was something fighting outside. Anyway, and we're going to get to Tom here in a minute. So okay, I thought, okay, well, it's like, wake up, let's go. It's 1 o'clock. I've got to cook. I got to do the dishes. I wanted to make blackberry muffins. I have my apple boxes still sitting out there. Apples are going into the compost, but there's still a few apples in there. I can make apple pie, so I thought I'd make some apple pie. And can you not do that, please? Just give me a couple of minutes. Okay? Thank you. And, because I'm tired, right? And I'm a little antsy right now. And I'm having a hard time focusing. So, and I was going to make sandwiches and, and I'm, buying groceries and stuff, right? So, anyway, I take her to the doctor. So we get to the doctor's office and there's no doctor there until 3:30. This is like 1 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go to a different clinic. So I take her to a different clinic. And by the time we're done with all that, it's like, I don't know. I didn't get home until 3:30. And the minute I drive up to my house, as I'm coming up, my walkway, there's Tom. And he's laying up on the rocks all beat up and everything, right? Tom the stray, right? That hangs out at my house all the time. And he's very hard to catch. Well, he ain't moving now. And I'm like, poor Tom. Tom's like, I can't just leave him out there to die, right? And I have video. After this video, I upload this video. I'm going to upload a video of Tom because in the end, I had to take Tom to the vet today and put him to sleep. So the money that I was going to pay to hop on the ferry with my daughter yesterday partly went to the cat, to put the cat to sleep because that's how bad he was. And he was just laying there when I came home, right? And he's been, he was a scrapper, right? So I don't know what happened to him, but maybe he got hit by a car or, infection from fighting and just the whole 9 yards. Can you hold on a minute, please? Hold on.
Okay.
Anyway, my dad was chewing on bread, toast, right? So it was irritating me. It's a distraction because I'm tired. I've been going. Yesterday I was going all day with my daughter in the car and she was snapping at me and just, ugh. So I come home and there's Tom, right? He laid up in the rocks and he can't move and he's like, you could tell he's really sick. So I'm in the house. I'm not even in the house for 8 minutes. And I knock at the door. I go to the door and there's the cops. And there's like 5 of them standing there. I'm like, yes? Where's your daughter? Where's that girl? Or something, like, something. And I'm like, well, we just got in the house here. Like, what's up? Oh, well, there was, something, a complaint or something, somebody was fighting and, and it's your daughter. And I'm like, let me see your daughter. And I'm like, well, my daughter couldn't have been fighting because we just got home. We haven't even been home for 5 minutes, 8 minutes. Right? I'm like, I had the vet card in my hand and everything. I said, all right, well, I got to take this cat to the vet because it's on my, it's dying, right? So anyway, long story short, it was my other daughter that was fighting with her boyfriend, teenagers, right? And her boyfriend is very controlling and my daughter just doesn't see it like that, right? She seems to think that she can change him with, expecting, him to do, like, go to school and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, you can't change him. You can only change yourself. You can't, you only can please yourself. You can't please him, right? And so, needless to say, for like an hour and a half, I had cops running around my house. Like, how many? 4 or 5 of them? Like, all over the place. Up and down in the basement or up in here. And so, by the time they left, what time is it now? It's 8, almost 9 o'clock now. I got home like 20 minutes ago. After I took Tom, after the cops left, and that was all figured out, right? I took Tom to the vet, and I have video of putting him to sleep. And the vet made a donation towards that. I had to pay to put to dispose of the body, because I didn't want to come out here and start digging in dirt and bury a dead cat, right? So I paid almost $100 to dispose of the body properly through the SPCA cremation. Only we don't have, I don't think we have the SPCA out in BC anymore because the cities have converted their pounds and the old SPCAs into district something. I don't know. The contract didn't go through, but it's still on the form that it's going to be, the body will be cremated properly, right? So, I just got home like 15, 20 minutes ago, and I'm broke now. You know, I've been buying groceries, whatever, and then the kids, everybody's depressed, right? Poor Tom put them to sleep. You know, girlfriend broke up with her boyfriend. Cops running around my house. You know, my daughter's sick, so the kids wanted to go off to the thrift store, right? So they needed shoes and clothes. And as teenagers, always need that kind of stuff. So while the cops were here, though, we started this conversation, and I'm like, well, I brought up this subject that I'm going to a seminar, and this person's telling me, well, do you realize who these people are? And I'm like, well, I've seen a couple of videos, and I like the justice part of it, understanding the law part of it, understanding that you do live in a free country, supposedly, where you do have the right to defend yourself with or without a lawyer, right? If a lawyer's not going to do it for you, you can go to court and do it for yourself. So basically, the individual I was talking to was saying that a movement like that, in terms of a Freeman movement, shouldn't have a leader, but there seems to be an individual that's kind of migrating towards that direction. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. And then I asked the question, well, what's the difference between this group and this person, that's kind of like put himself as a figurehead, compared to Adam Kosh in the United States? Isn't the Freeman movement kind of like a libertarian movement? And then I went on to explain how Adam Kosh is trying to, mobilize a movement with the shotguns pointing down, and everybody in their suits marching across state line from one state into Washington, D.C. And it's not that it's illegal to walk around with a gun under their Constitution in open public. What's illegal is crossing state line. But Adam Kosh is trying to get the police involved, where they escort that crossover, and so what's the difference between the two men and their ideologies in terms of people having more rights in the countries that they were born in, and being able to exercise those rights versus delving in deeper into a military state where we don't have any rights. And I explained the situation around my grandson, and then of course this individual says, yeah, but well, looking around here, I could understand why maybe social services wouldn't want your little grandson in here in terms of the congestion. Well, if I was to walk you over there, what you're going to find is 15 loaves of bread. You're going to find 6 big bags of potatoes. You're going to find, what else is over there? There's food, right? There's all kinds of food all stacked up because the house is small and I have a lot of people. So when I bring this stuff in, it starts to pile up. Plus, I'm in the process of clearing out my garage. I've only did like a third of it, just a third. And everything that I put out in the curb, the only thing that I came back in with was one teeny weeny little bag. The metal recyclers took the metal that they wanted, the toys that the people wanted for their children took the toys, and it went over a period of a week. So people were kind of selective about what they took, right? So I'm going to do another load next week. So that's even going to be more out of my garage. But the problem with the garage, though, is these damn animals, these males, are spraying, and they've been spraying. Because I have more than one Tom around my house. I've got Boots too now. But you can't catch these cats because they're too quick. They're feral cats. They're wild. But they're cats, and cats like to congregate. So they congregate at my house. And, and if they're unneutered males, well, they spray. So I got cat spray all over the place. Plus raccoons, because I'm going to import this. We got a female raccoon coming around. They're coming in like schedule work, Scratchy comes for his food. That one with the skinny tail comes if it thinks it can get away with it. And now we got a nursing female coming up wanting dog food. That's a city problem, and it's not eradicate and kill off the raccoon. It's bringing a feeding program and a neutering and a spading program to control the population. And if we bring in a feeding program where the raccoons can learn that that's where they go get their food, they won't be bothering everybody in the houses. Because if I don't feed them where I feed them under my tree, they will constantly try and get into my house. And they won't stop until they get what they want. So you might as well give them a bit of food, and it appeases them And Scratchy's a little territorial. I just get a little concerned about that because 2 days ago the children across neighbor, their children were playing. Scratchy was out by his bowl. The one with the little skinny tail came and wanted the food, and Scratchy put his hand on the bowl, got all protective, started growling, and because they have different sounds, they growl, and it's a different kind of growl. It's kind of like a scary growl, and when they fight, they actually can scream, like scream at a very high pitch. But besides the point, with all this drama and the needs of my family and poor Tom, and just with my discussion with that police officer there while we were discussing politics briefly, because I have nothing to hide. I told her I'm going to the Freemen thing tomorrow. I'm catching the ferry with my daughter tomorrow. Like, how can she be involved with cops today when we're going to go do a mother-daughter event on the ferry? Well, where are you going? I said, well, I'm going to the Freemen seminar. Like, I think it's great. You know, I'm looking forward to it. Oh, do you know what you're doing? Well, in terms of getting information, you know, I think it would be a good thing. Now, but if these people are, you know, because I didn't contact them, they contacted me through my email. And this person watches my videos, and that's fine. And I read your email, and yes, I have been whining, and I admit that. I've been devastated. My family's been devastated about what's happened with my grandson. But I've already decided to try and change the script. And I have to say, you've inspired me. You know, this person this Dean Clifford or whatever his name is, watching the few videos and, you know, talking about standing up and, you know, fighting for your rights through the court system, I think that's great. It inspired me not to be afraid to put forward a lawsuit on my own, with or without a lawyer. So you're doing something right. But then on the other hand, I disagree when it comes to driving down the highways or in the city or anywhere else for that matter without a license or insurance. I've been a driver since I've been 15. I'm 51. And I get my 43% discount because, you know, I'm a pretty responsible person. But I've seen people who have been very irresponsible behind the wheel, and they use that to their advantage if they can, so that they can fabricate a lawsuit and walk away with $100 grand. And I know that for a fact because my oldest daughter's father did that. And then once he got away with that, he tried it again. And he was the kind of man that if he lost his license, which I'm sure he has by this point, he'd still drive, which I find to be very irresponsible. Because when I get in the car with my children, and if I get into an accident for whatever reason, and somebody gets hurt, whoever that may be, I'd like to know that there's a level of insurance that can help to pay for those damages to the individual. The car is insignificant to me. I can't stand these people that, oh, you scratched my car. Oh, let's go to court. I want ICBC to paint my whole car because I got a scratch on it now. Those people are cuckoo. I drive a car that's 33 years old. No matter to me. It's not a fashion show when it comes to a car. As long as it's fairly safe, it gets to A to B. This car is on its last legs. But besides the point, so, you know, right there, I would have came in with conflict. Even if I would have ended up at the seminar, I'd be like, okay, you know, I don't have to agree with everything you say, and I certainly don't think that it's right to drive without a license. However, I understand how the court system can disenfranchise hardworking men by taking away their licenses through the family court or whatever it is, because they're behind on child support, or they maybe owe a ticket. It could happen to me too, right? But, you know, oftentimes men are losing their licenses because of child support, never mind having to pay insurance. So, you know, it could push some people into desperate times, right? And in that case, they may drive without a license. Does it make it right? No. I think, you know, I think if the Freemen are going to be promoting rule of law, statutes, laws, signatures, then, you know, there is such a thing as a common law. I mean, I'm not no expert, right? But for me, a driver's license and insurance, I don't care what mandate it falls under, is a common law, that it protects the general public. And my nonprofit works for the general public. So I don't know what this person was thinking when they contacted me and invited me to come to their seminar. For the simple fact is, if they're trying to be private about what they're doing, but yet invite a very public entity, because it's not just me. When I come with the foundation, which is a national public initiative, right? So right there, don't expect me to lie for you and cover you up, okay? So I posted on Facebook I was going to go. I was proud to go. I was happy to go. If I could have brought all my kids, I would have taken all my kids. But as it turns out, I had 3 things happen to me today that I couldn't even boil 1 egg to make a sandwich to hop on the ferry. I was going to take a bus to the ferry, walk onto the ferry, take a bus to Victoria, do the seminar, take a bus back, walk onto the ferry, and then take another bus home with my daughter. Because I was excited to hear about how I can maybe get my grandson back with or without my lawyer, because my lawyer knows I'm doing my own thing. But he's also my lawyer, and I let him do his own thing. Okay, I got to see it. I got a taste of his style for a few minutes when I was with him last time when I went to court. And he's a very busy man, and he does his own thing, and so I'm just letting him do his own thing, and he's letting me do my own thing. But if I could have went there and said, look, I got a little information here that I want to wing by you because I think that maybe we should try it this way. And even if he would have said no, but if my gut would have said yes, I would have done it. And that's why I was going to the seminar. Because if, they're going to help you. Come in and we'll help you. Well, I also had a discussion with my son. This is getting on too long here, but I said, why is this person contacting me if he wants to help me? It could be a woman too, right? But we'll assume it's a man. Why is this person trying to contact me if they're really serious about helping me, right? But I have to go to Victoria to get that help. When in fact, if you really wanted to help me, you can just send me a note on Facebook or a note through YouTube, and you can start helping me right then and there. You could give me the advice, whatever that advice is, just as easily than if I had to hop on a ferry. But you see, it wasn't in the cards because I had the money. I gathered up $200, $280 I had. But by the time I went grocery shopping and I had to put the freaking cat to sleep, and then the kids everybody's all depressed now, and I'm like, I already lost their out money, right, in terms of I had to take my daughter to the doctors and gas, and I'm a smoker too, right? So like it just cops show up at the house, cats dying on the porch, and my daughter's being beat up by her boyfriend, and like, how the heck am I supposed to go to Victoria? If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. That's what I said to the cop. I guess I'm not going. Because just 3 things in a row happened all in one day. I never even got to make a sandwich for the ferry ride. So, and it does kind of boil down to, if this person, whoever this person is, because I don't know who it is, really is sincere about helping me to get my grandson home, and they feel that they have some good advice that I can use on my own with or without the counsel of my lawyer, because I'm not trying to go behind my lawyer's back, but then I'm also not depending on my lawyer 100% either, right? Then out of the kindness of their heart, they would help me. Instead of saying, stop your whining. If you don't whine, if you don't stop your whining and you don't come to the seminar, then don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at the world, just blame yourself kind of thing, because you didn't come and take the advice I was going to give you at this seminar. So, I guess I lost out. But I didn't lose out purposely, and I am a public figure. So I'm going to speak out on it in terms of what's going on. And in terms of Adam Kosh, that dude there in the States with his, rifle march crossing state lines, he's reaching out to the police. He wants the police to help escort them, so he's not anti-government. He's not, anti-police, right? He just wants to secure his rights as an American, that type of thing. And, he's trying to bring awareness. So, I don't know how that relates to the Freemen, because I kind of see the same. I kind of see the guys. The guys is guys. You know, I'm a guy, right? So you know, everybody's got their own method, right? And we got to respect that. But if our fellas here in Canada are getting a little too radical, and they're pulling in vulnerable people like me, because that's what I said to the cop today. Well, it just shows you how vulnerable people really are when we're being, you know, tweaked with our grandchildren or with our children, and it's tipping us over the edge because we don't know how to solve this problem. She's saying, well, you got to learn to work within the system. You got to change the system within itself. Well, you know what? I said that at Occupy Wall Street movement when they were doing all that too, and I've been working on a system to help change the system within the system, and it still ain't happening. But I definitely don't want to go off into the fringe and, you know, be a rebel that, you know, isn't necessarily going to get me anywhere either. So there needs to be a balance. To that person that sent me that email, I'm not trying to blow your cover. You know, I'm not, you know, but I am a public person in terms of my foundation. I am Marex when I have a hat on, right? I will speak out, you know. Oftentimes it's just food for thought. And, you know, people don't like to hear the truth, because what's one truth for one person may not be truth for somebody else. But that doesn't mean that it's not true, because the other person could either, one, be in denial, two, could be brainwashed to think something else, you know, through the way they were brought up, and like institutional racism, or, you know, bigotry within the house, and, you know, males are better than females. I mean, there's all kinds of different messages children receive when they grow up. And yeah, so I did try to get there. I'm not broad sweeping, but if you're attracting vulnerable people, which you are, because I consider myself and my family to be vulnerable, you got to be very careful how you treat us and not exploit us for a different agenda than what we as individuals are coming in. Okay, I'm not coming to any seminar to teach my kids not to drive with a license. I'm telling my kids, I'm pleading with my kids, I'm going blind. You have to get your learners so that you can drive the car in 2 years from now, because I might not be able to drive it, because that's how bad my eyesight is getting. I'm not saying, my daughter wants to drive the car now. I'm saying, no, you don't have your learners. But that doesn't mean I don't necessarily, you know, I do agree that people need to learn to start standing up for themselves. So anyway, these fellas and their women, they need to do a little assessment and ask themselves where they want to take their movement, and if they want more public support, right, from wherever that comes from, then they need to adjust their ideology. And if they're going to promote acts, statutes, and laws, and signatures, and all this other crap, then they need to, you know, get with the format and, you know, settle with the fact that we do live in a civilized society, and we do need common laws, and driver's license are one of them. And if people are losing their licenses, well, then maybe that should be the issue. And, you know, for me, I would be like, okay, well, if that's the case, let's work on that. Let's work on that 1 million flash movement with the lawyer and family fund, so that maybe we can start helping to get some of these men back their driver's license. You know, $50 million can go a long way. It can help a lot of people get their driver's license back, pay a few fines, whatever it is. You know, it's up to the people to decide that, right? My job is just to promote that, get it. And I was kind of hoping I'd find some people that could help me with that. But it just wasn't in the cards today. I think Tom, you know, you're going to see the video after this. And poor Tom, he was a scrapper. And he deserved to die with some dignity. And so I took him to the vet today. And he definitely did die with some dignity today, even though he had to be put to sleep. So that's all I got to say about that.